In part 3, we're going to demo the solution that we created in part 2 and dive into the details. Okay, let's take a look at the proof of concept in action now. So I've got my Outlook web client open here, and what I'm going to do is I have the show form options enabled, from options enabled, and I'm going to change this email address from my account to the shared mailbox. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply just compose an email that I know is invalid to demonstrate some sort of error response being sent into the shared mailbox folder. Now you'll have to have a little patience with me because this is a demo tenant and there's a bit of delay or lag between the triggers and the emails coming in. Test error message. And so I'll send this guy here. And this is to demonstrate some sort of failure message. So if we check the inbox or the sent folder, we can see that we just sent an email at 2:50 Pacific time, and it came from the shared mailbox. And if we look in the inbox folder, we can see that we have an undeliverable email. It literally just came in at 2:50. So now if I navigate back over to, let me get this window right, back over to our flow, and I check run history again. Let's go back and look at run history again. And we can see the latest execution of this flow was 1 hour ago. So what I'll do now is just simply continue to hit refresh and wait for it to trigger. As I said earlier, it can be a bit of a lag, maybe a couple of minutes because I'm in a demo tenant. We can see it finally triggered here and it was successful. So if I click on the flow to take a look at run history, we can see that it was triggered. That means that the subject line contained undeliverable. And we can see here it says undeliverable test message. So now I begin to compose the JSON document that will be delivered to our CosmosDB backend. And you can see here I generate a GUID. I set the subject of this document to this string variable, the subject variable, and then I simply send that over to CosmosDB for input. And it's very important that your JSON object contain the ID attribute. This is how it knows that it's a unique message or it needs to update a message with this ID. So if we navigate over to Cosmos now, we'll find that a new document has been delivered to our patient's container. So if I do a refresh here, we can see here this very last item is going to reflect the message that was just processed there. In part 4, we'll dive into some other options like using the Mongo API with Cosmos DB and what do we need to do to create a flow that's capable of adding a document to Cosmos DB via Mongo API.